Have you ever wondered how the Amish manage to stay cozy during harsh winters without relying on modern gas or electricity? In this video, we'll explore 8 of their most cost-effective and ingenious methods for generating warmth. From innovative ways of banking soil against walls to harnessing livestock heat, you'll discover how these off-grid communities have mastered staying snug in even the coldest conditions. Whether you're looking to trim your heating expenses or simply curious about traditional living techniques, these time-tested Amish strategies offer an inspiring blend of sustainability, resourcefulness, and practicality. Number 1. Earthen banks. Many Amish families leverage the insulating power of soil by piling earth, sod, or compacted dirt directly against exterior walls, especially on the north-facing side of their homes or barns. This ancient practice, sometimes known as banking, creates a natural barrier that stabilizes interior temperatures without relying on modern insulation materials. When thick mounds of earth surround a wall, it dramatically reduces the impact of freezing winds and prevents heat from escaping. The key is to ensure the banked earth stays well drained so that moisture doesn't seep into the structure. Some communities dig shallow ditches around the perimeter to divert water away, while others place a thin layer of gravel near the foundation to promote proper drainage. Once winter ends, the earthen banks can be partially flattened or redistributed around gardens, adding extra nutrients to the soil. In more permanent setups, families might cover these mounds with straw or old hay bales to keep the dirt from eroding during heavy rainfall or snowmelt. The Amish often align their homes to capitalize on solar gain as well, with earthen banking on only the coldest facing side, such as the north or northwest. On the sunnier southern side, windows are left more exposed to capture the natural warmth of sunlight. Because electricity is not typically used to power modern heating devices, this old-fashioned solution offers a low-cost yet highly effective approach. In some regions, the mounded area might extend halfway up the wall, leaving only the windows and upper siding visible above ground level. If the building rests on a slope, this practice can be particularly beneficial because gravity helps keep the soil securely in place. Families with long-standing traditions in earth-based construction often know the best local soil types for effective banking. Clay-heavy soil, for example, may offer decent insulation but risks water retention if not carefully managed. Additionally, earthen banking is relatively easy to adapt for outbuildings like workshops or storage sheds. Keeping these auxiliary spaces warmer means tools, equipment, and stored goods are better protected from extreme cold, which is crucial in rural settings where replacement parts or repairs might be difficult to obtain in winter. In some cases, the top of the earth mound might be planted with hardy grasses to prevent erosion and blend into the landscape. This synergy of natural materials, combined with practical know-how passed down through generations, enables the Amish to efficiently moderate indoor temperatures, all while staying in tune with local ecology. Number 2. Indoor livestock spaces. Another lesser-known method the Amish utilize is integrating certain livestock areas within or adjacent to the main household structure. By design, the body heat of animals like horses, cows, or goats helps raise the ambient temperature in adjoining rooms, reducing the need for additional fuel. This can take various forms. Some families might have a stable built onto the side of the house, separated by thick, insulated walls and a double door system to keep odors in check. In these cases, the warmth generated by the animals filters into the home without letting excessive moisture or smells through. Early in the morning, when Amish farmers head out to feed the animals, they benefit from a space that's slightly warmer than the outside temperature, making chores less brutal in sub-zero conditions. The animals themselves remain more comfortable, which can lead to better milk production and overall health. This arrangement also shortens the distance farmers must travel in severe weather, an important safety consideration during blizzards or when ice makes walking hazardous. Maintaining cleanliness is paramount. Most families adhere to strict protocols for cleaning stalls, removing manure regularly to reduce ammonia buildup, and ensuring adequate ventilation. Ventilation shafts or vents near the ceiling allow stale air to escape without losing too much heat, striking a balance between animal welfare and cost-effective warmth. The leftover manure often has its own insulating properties when composted properly, generating additional heat as it decomposes. Some Amish communities even use partially composted bedding as a radiant source. If done safely, it can warm livestock areas and reduce freeze risk in water troughs. In certain regions, goats or sheep may be housed in smaller sheds directly connected to kitchen areas or pantries, since these animals can tolerate cooler conditions but still offer a mild temperature boost. Children who help with barn chores learn practical lessons on how an animal's body heat contributes to an energy-efficient home. In winter, the communal closeness between people and animals isn't just about survival, it also fosters a sense of responsibility. By leveraging every available source of warmth, Amish families reduce their reliance on purchased fuels, embodying a resourcefulness that has endured for centuries. Number 3. Hand-pumped water radiators. Although the Amish avoid most modern conveniences, certain inventive households employ non-electric radiator systems that run on water circulated by hand pumps. These radiators can be constructed using metal pipes or repurposed cast iron fittings. The basic setup involves heating water in a wood-fired stove or boiler, then manually pumping it through pipes that snake along walls or baseboards. As the hot water travels, it releases heat into the rooms, and cooler water returns to the reservoir to be heated again. Unlike an electric pump system, this manual approach relies on human labor or simple mechanical leverage. Some families might use a lever-action pump that requires only occasional strokes to keep the water moving. This method produces a surprisingly consistent level of warmth, especially if the pipes are arranged to radiate heat in living spaces where people gather the most. Careful consideration goes into preventing leaks or accidental scalds. Many Amish integrate pressure valves and rely on thick-walled pipes to handle increased temperatures. On days when fewer people are around to operate the pump, the system can still function passively through the principle of thermosiphoning, though it may run more slowly. Thermosiphoning occurs when hot water rises naturally, pulling cooler water down to the heat source. If the radiator pipes are installed at a slightly higher elevation than the water boiler, gravity aids in the circulation process even with minimal pumping. Maintenance is crucial. The pipes need regular checks for sediment buildup, especially if hard well water is used. Flushing the system periodically keeps it efficient. Families who have refined this technology sometimes use additional features, like external metal fins on the piping, to increase surface area, thus distributing more heat into the room. A well-placed radiator near the floor can also double as a makeshift drying rack for clothes or boots. Since these water radiators don't rely on gas or electricity, they align perfectly with Amish values of simplicity and self-reliance. Number 4. Sawdust and husk insulation. In many Amish communities, sawdust and agricultural husks, like corn husks or wheat chaff, serve as a low-cost insulating material. Often available in abundance after milling lumber or harvesting crops, these byproducts can be packed into walls, floors, or even attic cavities to hold in warmth. When stored in cloth sacks or layered between thin wooden planks, sawdust adds a surprising level of insulation, slowing down heat loss without requiring synthetic foams. Some families also mix sawdust with lime or clay to create a lightweight plaster that gets applied between structural beams. This plaster insulates and can be finished with whitewash for a neat, clean appearance. Where corn husks or wheat chaff are used, they're typically dried thoroughly to prevent mildew. Once dried, the husks are inserted between lathing strips or placed under floorboards to minimize chilly drafts coming up from below. Because these materials are organic, preventing moisture infiltration is critical. Amish builders often apply natural sealants or use vapor barriers like waxed paper to keep the material dry. If done carefully, sawdust insulation can last for years without needing replacement. In some older homes, entire walls are filled with tightly packed sawdust that's changed only if it becomes damp or pest-ridden. Regular inspections help families catch any problems early. Cost-effectiveness is a big appeal. Most sawdust and husks come from daily farm activities or local mills at little to no expense. This means even large structures can be thoroughly insulated on a modest budget. Additionally, the softness of these materials helps muffle noise, providing a quieter indoor environment. In barns or workshops, layering the walls with husks can keep livestock warmer and tools better protected from freezing temperatures. Hygiene is carefully managed. Any organic insulation is susceptible to mold if leaks or flooding occur. To address this, Amish carpenters design walls with moisture runoff in mind, sometimes incorporating gently angled exteriors so rain or snow doesn't pool at the foundation. The result is a naturally insulated building that retains heat remarkably well, enabling families to endure frigid winters without using electric-based climate control. Number 5. High-heat masonry ovens. While wood-burning stoves are widely recognized in Amish culture, certain settlements take it a step further with large masonry ovens that serve as both cooking appliances and powerful heating units. These structures, often built from brick, stone, or adobe-like materials, hold on to heat for an extended period once the fire inside has been extinguished. The interior chamber reaches high temperatures, and the massive, thick walls gradually release that stored warmth throughout the day and night. Amish families may fire these ovens once or twice a day, depending on outside temperatures and how much baking or cooking needs to be done. By scheduling baking sessions in the morning, they ensure the house stays cozy into the evening hours. Some masonry oven designs include heated benches or sleeping platforms built into the side, a concept borrowed from old world traditions. After the oven is heated, the benches remain warm, providing a comfortable spot to rest or even sleep. Constructing one of these ovens requires skill, and communities often rely on experienced masons who specialize in off-grid architecture. Materials are sometimes sourced locally: clay from nearby riverbanks, stones from local quarries. This self-sufficiency avoids the expense and complications of importing building supplies from commercial markets. Once built, the oven is typically located in a central area of the home to distribute heat evenly. Because the oven's exterior can reach significant temperatures, Amish families exercise caution, especially with children around. A protective wooden railing or half wall might be installed, ensuring the benefits of radiant heat are felt without risking burns. The oven's chimney is designed for optimal draft control, which allows minimal heat to escape once the main fire has died down. Proper flue cleaning is essential to prevent creosote buildup. These masonry ovens often become the household's focal point in winter, attracting family members to gather for warmth, conversation, and meal preparation. The synergy between baking and heating epitomizes the Amish ethos, making every task serve multiple purposes. By capturing and storing so much heat within their dense walls, these ovens significantly cut down on the amount of wood needed, offering both efficiency and comfort during the coldest months. Number 6. Double glazed storm sashes. Although electricity-free, the Amish aren't strangers to practical innovations in window technology. One example is the use of removable double-glazed storm sashes that can be slipped into place during winter. Rather than permanent dual-pane windows, many families build wooden frames outfitted with a second layer of glass or even transparent plastic sheeting. When the weather turns cold, these secondary sashes are fitted snugly over the existing windows, creating an insulating pocket of air. To reduce drafts, felt strips or homemade cloth seals line the edges of the storm sash, ensuring a tight fit. If condensation becomes an issue, tiny vents might be included to allow moisture to escape while still keeping cold air out. This approach is particularly beneficial in older homes, where windows are single glazed and not always well sealed. By doubling up, the Amish drastically improve heat retention without replacing original windows that might hold sentimental or historical value. When spring arrives, the sashes can be removed, cleaned, and stored until the next winter. This seasonal adaptability allows for full ventilation and open windows in warmer months, which is essential when no electric fans or air conditioners are in use. Some families take the opportunity to repaint or reseal the storm sashes each off-season, preserving their longevity. In harsh winters, glass can crack from extreme temperature fluctuations, so the Amish often use sturdy, locally purchased glass that withstands minor impacts. If glass proves too expensive or difficult to source, they might opt for translucent plastic film stretched tightly across a frame. This budget-friendly solution works surprisingly well at blocking drafts, though it's not as durable as glass. Either way, the dual-layer design can substantially cut down on heat loss. Families that have tested various prototypes report savings in both wood usage and overall effort in maintaining warmth. Along with heavy curtains or quilts hung over windows, these storm sashes provide a simple yet powerful defense against bitter winds. Number 7. Carriage blanket techniques. Because the Amish frequently travel via horse-drawn buggy, they've learned how to stay warm in open-air vehicles without modern heaters. These same techniques can be adapted to indoor living, especially in drafty rooms or smaller cabins. One common practice is layering thick, tightly woven wool blankets, often placed on seating areas to trap body heat. The Amish sometimes incorporate reflective materials or tarps beneath the top layer to reflect warmth back upward. The buggies themselves often have minimal enclosures. Some might feature sliding side panels or a front windshield. But the real secret is in how travelers bundle themselves. Men, women, and children all share the carriage blankets, which are large enough to cover multiple laps. By pooling body heat, they create a pocket of comfort even when outside temperatures plummet. These blankets are not ordinary throws. Many are specifically tailored with heavier batting, quilted for durability, and sized to wrap around legs and feet thoroughly. Translating this carriage concept into a household setting, Amish families keep similar heavy blankets near doorways or drafty corners. Whenever someone sits down to read, sew, or chat, they can drape one of these blankets over their shoulders and laps, effectively mimicking the buggy experience. A reflective layer, such as an old piece of emergency blanket material sewn into the interior, boosts insulation. It's not flashy. Often the reflective surface is hidden between fabric layers, but it's remarkably efficient. During social gatherings in larger unheated spaces like barns, these communal blankets can be essential. Several people gathered together, each draped in warm layering, can make an otherwise chilly environment quite livable. In some areas, a carriage blanket might also include pockets near the edges for hands or small personal items. Using the same approach indoors, families create specialized blankets for children, ensuring they don't slip off easily. This communal approach to using body heat, combined with well-chosen textiles, results in more comfort and less reliance on costly fuels. Number 8. Community workwarms gatherings. One of the most distinctive aspects of Amish culture is how social interaction and cooperative labor dovetail with staying warm. While communal living is a hallmark, a specific element often dubbed workwarms takes it further. In winter, tasks such as quilting bees, barn raisings, or large-scale food preservation efforts are deliberately scheduled when temperatures drop. The collective energy of people working together, combined with the heat generated by manual labor, keeps the environment more comfortable. For instance, if a family needs help canning a large batch of vegetables or fruits, they might invite neighbors to gather in a single home for the day. The canning process involves boiling large pots of water, running a wood-fired stove continuously, and carrying heavy loads of produce. All these activities generate heat, which is shared by everyone present. Meanwhile, laughter, conversation, and the bustle of many bodies in one area raise the ambient temperature without flipping a single electric switch. Quilting bees function similarly. Extended periods of stitching, sewing, and layering fabric can take place in a room warmed by body heat and perhaps a modest stove. People work shoulder to shoulder, creating large quilts that will later help families stay warm at night. The synergy is twofold. Quilts get produced more quickly, and participants remain cozy thanks to the crowd. Such events also build social bonds, ensuring everyone in the community has enough textiles and other necessities for the winter. Even barn raisings, where entire communities come together to construct or repair a barn, can serve a dual function in cold weather. While it might seem counterintuitive to do heavy lifting outdoors when it's chilly, the physical exertion warms participants. Large pots of soup or stew simmer over open fires or wood stoves, offering nourishment and additional heat sources. At the end of the day, everyone gathers to eat in a communal space that's filled with warmth from cooking and the combined body heat of dozens of people. Another aspect of these gatherings is the shared resources. Firewood might be collectively chopped or split, with able-bodied members lending a hand to elders or those with larger families. This group effort ensures that all households have an adequate supply of fuel, which in turn helps each family stay warm. The sense of mutual aid means that no one faces winter isolation or an empty woodpile alone. These workwarms gatherings also prevent idle time in front of a space heater or other modern device. Instead, the Amish channel winter energy into productive tasks, harnessing both physical activity and shared heat. By design, the entire cycle is sustainable. Leftover wood scraps from building projects might be repurposed as firewood, while any extra quilts produced at a quilting bee can be gifted or sold to neighbors. This integrated approach to community labor and warmth is as functional as it is socially enriching, illustrating how Amish traditions transcend mere survival to foster genuine cooperation. All 8 of these practical approaches, earthen banks, indoor livestock spaces, hand-pumped water radiators, sawdust insulation, high-heat masonry ovens, removable double-glazed storm sashes, carriage blanket techniques, and workwarms gatherings, demonstrate the depth of Amish ingenuity in staying cozy without gas or electricity. Each method embodies principles of resourcefulness, environmental harmony, and collective effort, showing that even in harsh winter climates, sustainable warmth can be achieved through time-honored techniques and simple but effective materials. By integrating agriculture, architecture, craftsmanship, and community, the Amish continue to refine these practices, passing down knowledge so future generations can remain self-sufficient and comfortably warm year after year.